That's it. Now, refreshing YouTube. Right now, yeah. Omar, there's a Zoom meeting. I'm going to change that. Manage videos. Live. Do something over here. Hey, Sunday. Hey, Sunday from southern Quebec. Canada. That's it. Then I put over here some thumbnail that I have somewhere, maybe. You see? I put this one. Just, that's it. No, it's not safe. I guess that's it. Your channel. And I guess that's it. A refreshing over here. Well, I guess it's just getting like a few seconds before changing the thumbnail anyways. But I can see over here. Well, I guess it's sound is okay. Just getting like a few seconds. Turn off the volume over here. And that's it. That's it. I'm going to seems like I'm sharing the pages right now. Where is that? Where's it coming from? I'm going to seems like I'm sharing the pages right now. I guess I need to turn off that one. Where is that? I'm going to turn off this one. I believe the Zoom, I need to, yeah, the few seconds that they retarded or whatever it is, right, you are screen sharing right now. Let's check it out. What is the news coming up on my screen? And that's it. CNN election campaign news, presidential polls and results. I'm going to check it out, the news from CNN. All right. I guess, let me see if we can put myself, surely, this is Presidential Election Center over here. The latest on the 2024 presidential race, Hillary Clinton said Biden's childcare comments are not in touch with most Americans' lives. Well, there is some picture over here, seeing an analysis. Does Trump really want his VP to have the final debate words this election? I don't think so. I don't think so. They are scared, They are just scared from the presidential candidate, in this case, Kamala Harris, I want to do something over here. You are sharing the screen. All right. this one over here, kind of like uh, um well, over here like this. Oh, I got this. It's kind of not new for me. What about this? Oh, okay, I got it. I got it. And what about I check it out as well on my laptop. You guys, um, view, gallery, multi-speaker, immerse, speaker, speaker, where is that? Gallery. Share. Election over here. Share. On myself. I need to see myself somewhere. What I miss? Don't know. Well, I guess um all right, enough is enough. I guess what I need is to be able to see myself in the corner over here somewhere. There. At least I have this one over here, and that is okay. I'm going to extend this page over here like this. And basically I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to stop the sharing stuff and then just read the news as it is, as it is. I'll probably just leave it over there. Like I just, yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I got it. I got it. You know what? I certainly, a page is half of the screen, but that is only for me. So if basically I can see on the other side, there's everything is okay on the laptop. See the screen like live. I mean, the result of the live coverage in real time with another computer. So I got it. I guess we need to start reading the news. The latest on the 2024 presidential race, update 12:04 p.m. EDT, Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. What we are covering: Harris challenged Trump to another debate. Vice President Kamala Harris has accepted an invitation from CNN to debate former President Donald Trump on October 23. Trump on Saturday argued it was too late to have another presidential debate because Americans have begun casting their ballots on the 2024 election. Well, I think as that is predictable, I guess I'm going to just, you know what I'm going to do over here? I'm going to stop sharing. That's it. Only my page. That's it. That's it. And then I'm going to see the result in a minute. In a minute. I can see now on my laptop what I did just seconds ago on the main computer, because there is a seconds that I'm going to fix it up, that I'm going to put on a YouTube and learning something. But for now, what I want to do is exactly what I'm doing right now, reading the news and drinking my coffee. All right. What I see over here, it seems like, let me see what to say. What is that? It seems like, let me see what to say. I still see the page. What is that? See what to say. I still see the page. What is that? See. I still see the page. What is that? Okay, my screen. Huh. My screen. Okay, my screen. Huh. My screen. My screen. And then what? View profile, I'm gonna stop video, blur my background, adjust, edit profile, rename. I want to stop sharing this stuff. Application window, share sound, optimize for video sharing. Huh. I think I understand what I'm doing right now. Anyhow, um, raise Harris hold 50% support to Trump's 47%, according to the latest CNN poll of polls. A difference just inside the typical margin of sample error for a national poll. Campaign finance, the latest federal filing showed Harris ending August with a significant cash edge over Trump's after setting a grassroots fundraising record during her first full month as the Democratic presidential nominee. One notable donor to the Republican last month was billionaire Elon Musk, who cut a six-figure check to the House GOP campaign arm. Okay. I don't see myself over there as it is. I don't like it. I can see that I don't like the screen is showing me right now. So let me see over here. This one. I don't like this. Let's see. Can I? Oh, okay. So adjust background and effect. Let's do it. Background, virtual background. What is my virtual background? This one over here. Video. Virtual background. You know what? This Zoom stuff getting me really, really, something, eh? It's not easy. I still dealing with Zoom. Half an hour ago, I tried to, read the news. This is the purpose of coming here, and this morning is the 22nd, Sunday. And now the issue is the background. What a mess. Let me see what to do over here. Choose the background. Choose the background. This one over here. Well, video, audio is my screen. Meeting, my screen. Meeting. Live streaming. Chat, share. One participant can share at a time. Multiple participants can share. One participant, hide participant and content. Now I am in the middle of big issue over here. Okay, over here, this is a screen. I got it. I can see the code and then what? And this is participant, a note, screen, select, title. Zoom. Mute my profile, blur profile, stop video, blur my background, just background effects. Avatar, video, virtual. I need to get out of it. That is my screen. My screen. It's absolutely miss. Absolutely miss. And I don't like it. I don't like it for the simple reason that I am not here to dealing with Zoom too much. It is too much. It's not fair. I think I make a mistake somewhere. Mute the audio, stop video, blue my background, choose video filter. Rotate. I got it. Sound effects. Studio effects. Video. Um, More caption. Dots, not white. Live stream. Remind participant watch live stream. Reset to default. Reset to default. Oh, yes. I think I'm returning now what I there. No, I think that is life, experience in term of learning. And it's good that nobody is watching it. But people are going to eventually watch this. Oh, um, all right, so what is this? Sure. Let's think where is a command to move this around? Not easy. Not easy. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. Probably it's a wonderful application soon. That's I'm sure it's a wonderful application. But you know what? It's not easy. It's not easy. It doesn't make easy. Now I cannot have a command of this fucking screen. Sorry. This one over here. What is this? Annotate. Chat. Participant. React. Share. Share. Share sound. Optimize for video sharing. Like doing this, what it's supposed to do. Layout. Screen. Sharing. And what now? sharing. Nothing. Oh, I got command over here. I got command over here. I believe I got a command over here. I will put it over there. And this one. All right, so I got the command over here. The screen sharing is stopped as the sharing window is closed. Yeah, thank you. What the fuck? Now. Yeah. Um, yeah, I can see myself over here. So I can put this over here on the side, kind of like over there. Yeah, and I open up another window over here independently. Open up. Open. All right, I got it. This new window over here, completely independent. I know sharing now. Certainly. And so going back to where I was, CNN elections. You got it. I'll open up now, right now. And there is. So I can read to you guys the news. I'm not sharing the screen right now because I don't know how to do it. It's taking me a long time to do it. So I'm going to check it out over here. Election Center, election news, latest on the presidential race, live update by Tory Power, Maureen Crowley, and Michelle Shin from CNN. Update at 12:04 p.m. EDT, Eastern Daytime, Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. We are covering Harris challenged Trump to another debate. Vice President Kamala Harris has accepted an invitation from CNN to debate former President Donald Trump on October 23. Trump on Saturday argued it was too late to have another presidential debate because Americans has begun casting their ballots in the 2024 election. Tight race. Harris holds 50% support for Trump to Trump's 47%, according to the latest CNN poll and polls. A difference just inside a typical margin of sampling error for a national poll. Campaign finance. The latest federal filings show Harris ending August with a significant cash edge over Trump's after setting a grassroots fundraising for record during her first full month as the Democratic presidential nominee. One notable donor to the Republican last month was billionaire Elon Musk, who cut a six-figure check to the House GOP campaign arm. Senator Marco Rubio urged voters to be aware of foreign election disinformation. GOP Senator Marco Rubio warned voters to be aware of election disinformation coming from foreign actors, particularly Russia, Iran, and China, ahead of November election. Here is the bottom line. If you see something out there, a video that just seems way too scandalous, I will pause for a second and make sure that it can be verified, Rubio said on CBS Face the Nation. He went on to address the false claim against Haitian migrants amplified by former President Donald Trump and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance. Those are claims that people in those communities made. Maybe some have now recanted and moved aside from it, but that should not take us away from the fundamental truth, and that is there is a real impact happening when you move people into community, as has been done by design by the Biden administration, Rubio said. More of this matter, Springfield, Ohio was thrust into the national spotlight as Trump and Vance amplified debunk conspiracy theories claiming Haitian immigrants in Springfield are eating pet cats and dogs. The false claims triggered a week-long string of bomb theft. They have shut down school, government office, and grocery stores. The chaos has put more law enforcement on the streets, including tower cameras and state troopers stationed on public schools. All at the cost the city has to face budget shortfall. And what about Graham? The Senator Lindsey Graham we're talking about, he urged Trump to will not lose NC over CNN reporting on Robinson. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, a close ally to former President Donald Trump, urged that Trump will not lose North Carolina over CNN's reporting on Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson's graphic and extreme comments on an adult website forum. I really don't. I think it will hurt Trump, told NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday. Should every Republican in the country be held responsible for this guy? I will say no, added Graham. It is him, not me. It is not Trump. As he is the only one supposed to say these things, he has the right to defend himself. He needs to defend himself. And Robinson, Graham added that charges are beyond our knowing. If they're true, he is unfit to serve the office, he said. However, the South Carolina Republican encouraged Robinson to go on offense and do everything he can to defend himself. He needs to do more. In my view, he has a right to defend himself, has an obligation to defend himself. This is hanging over his campaign, said Graham. Trump won in 2016 and 2020 when the governor candidate lost both times. And I think this hurt Trump. But as to Robinson, he is a political zombie if he does not offer a defense to this that is credible. Graham did encourage Trump to change tactics on how he addressed Jewish voters after Trump said that Jewish Americans will bear to blame if he lost the election. My advice to President Trump is that the Jewish American voters, I'm sure they do care about Israel. There has been no better friends of Israel. But talk about crime, talk about the economy, talk about inflation, talk about the border. That is the way you persuade people in this country. We have the obligation to persuade people to vote for us, he said. In another news, Fetterman dismissed concern about Harris' past comments on fracking in Pennsylvania. Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania on Sunday dismissed concern about Vice President Kamala Harris' past support for banning fracking, insisting that the election in his home state would not be defined by that issue. Back in 2020, I said that that may be an issue, but it's not going to be a defined issue. And now in 2024, we are talking about the talk about fracking, he said on NBC's Meet the Press. You know, the other side, you are talking about eating cats and geese and dogs and saying absurd things. He also refused to answer questions about his own past support and the banning fracking, arguing these previous quotes were taken out of context. I fully support fracking, so does the Vice President Harris, and if you want to have a serious conversation about policy, then I would challenge Trump and Vance to have one other than talking about eating pets, Fetterman said. Fetterman also pushed back against GOP vice presidential candidate Senator J.D. Vance, and former President Donald Trump blaming the assassination attempts against Trump on Democratic rhetoric. That is absolute absurd. Every Democrat condemned assassination attempts, as I did as well, he said. Well, we got one more new update from CNN website. We check it out. What is that? A minute ago, well, we already did. GOP senator urged voters to be aware of foreign election disinformation. Yeah, we saw that. We already did read this news. What is the one update? I don't know. So, well, I guess there is. Here's a new update. 5 minutes ago, and said former President Donald Trump said in an interview aired Sunday that he doesn't believe he will run again in 2028 if he loses this election. No, I don't think so. That will be it. I don't see that at all, Trump said on Full Measure with Charlie Atkinson when asking whether he saw himself running again on 4 years if he is unsuccessful in November. The former president will be 82 on election day in 2028. Yeah, 82 is too old. All right. So we keep reading over here. I just let you know, guys, that today, because this is a live event, so today is the 22nd of September, and it's noon and 45 minutes, 12:45 p.m. I mean, exactly this is the time, and I'm sitting over here in my desk reading the news coming from CNN Politics. All right, so check it out, another news. Okay, this is the issue right now. This guy from North Carolina AG say opponent Mark Robinson is unfit for office after CNN K-File report. North Carolina Attorney General John Stein, who will face off against North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, this guy, Mark Robinson, for governor in November, told CNN on Sunday that his opponent is not qualified for office. This man is utterly unqualified, unfit to be the governor of North Carolina. And we are going to do everything in our power to keep that from happening, Stein told CNN's Jake Tapper on a State of the Union television program. Now let's put a zoom a little bit. We are 150. We put in 175. Wow, that's much better. An investigation by CNN's K-File team found that Robinson made a series of inflammatory comments on pornography websites and the message board of that pornography website more than a decade ago, in which he referred to himself as a black Nazi and expressed support for reinstating slavery. Mark Robinson is absolutely unfit to be the governor of North Carolina, and that was true before your story broke last Thursday. The story has only served to underline and put an exclamation point on that fact, Stein said Sunday before referencing other posts that Robinson has made on his Facebook page. Asked by Tapper if the Robinson controversy will boost Vice President Kamala Harris' chance of winning North Carolina in November, Stein cited newfound energy for her in recent event in the state. I'm not a political scientist, but there has been incredible, exciting, newfound energy for the Harris-Walz campaign here in North Carolina, Stein said. She's got momentum. I think she's going to win, but I am absolutely focused on winning my race, he said. And there is the picture, I mean, a video, what is in the moment where those guys actually talking. We're talking about John Stein and running against Mark Robinson on North Carolina. Let's play the clip. Obviously, there is no sound because I turned off the sound over here, so forget it. Forget it. We going on with the news 2 hours, 17 minutes ago. That was the news on North Carolina GOP nominee for governor doesn't directly address CNN K5 report on campaign event. Now, North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson returned to the campaign trail Saturday, making what is believed to be his first public appearance since CNN K5 investigation found he called himself a black Nazi, along with a host of other graphic, inflammatory, and lewd comment and a pornography-sized message board more than a decade ago. The Republican gubernatorial candidate who has denied he made this comment, the comment, did not directly address the CNN investigation, and his remarks to the crowd gathered at the Fayetteville Motor Speedway for the Carlton Loan Big C Memorial Race. However, in a short video posted on his X account that include his remarks before the race, Robinson appeared to allude to the controversy surrounding his campaign. We are going to focus on the issues that you are concerned with, while everybody else wants to focus on the garbage and the trash that tries to burnish people. We are out here telling people about what we want to do, how we want to partner with you to make this state better and help your lives be better, Robinson said, according to CNN affiliate WRIL. Robinson and Trump campaign signs were fixed by side to the fence around the track, but while both men were campaigning in North Carolina Saturday, they don't appear together. The Trump campaign did not invite Robinson to the former president's rally Saturday in Wilmington, and Trump made not mention of the lieutenant governor in his remark. Well, that means he is actually out because not even Trump mentioned him anymore. And that is quite serious. I don't think he's going to win for sure. 9 minutes ago, Harris at 50% to Trump's 47% on CNN polls is coming up. Vice President Kamala Harris holds 50% support to former President Donald Trump's 47% in the race for president, according to the latest CNN polls, a difference just inside the typical margin of simple error for a national poll. Although there is no clear leader in the current average, the results suggest a slight shift in Harris' favor compared with the previous polls from before the ABC News debate. In that average, the race stood at 49% Harris to 48% Trump. The new average incorporated 5 polls conducted entirely after the ABC News debate held on September 10. It includes 3 polls that found Harris ahead outside of the public margin of simple error and 2 that found the race without that error margin. One poll added that to the average today from NBC News found Harris at 49% support to Trump's 44%, the lowest level of support for the former president in any poll that meets CNN standards since Harris entered the race in late July. This is Omar Globo Radio News. So this news coming up from CNN's Manu Tratu and Kanita Inter Tester. This guy has something related to Paraguay from this Paraguayan meat coming to the United States. The import of the beef to the Paraguayan meat of course, from Paraguay to the United States. And Tester was one of the guy who say that it's not good for your United States. Well, there is in the news today, Tester refrained from endorsing Harris amid competitive Senate battle. Mr. Tester is over there. Senator John Tester speaks during a Senate hearing in Washington, D.C. in September 2023. That is a picture from Andrew Caballero Reynolds from AFP Getty Image. Senator John Tester had so far refrained from throwing his support behind Kamala Harris and dodged a question this week on whether he thinks endorsing the vice president could be detrimental to his own re-election bid as the Montana Democrat looks to defend an endangered seat. Asked by CNN's Manu Rachu if the senator thinks endorsing Harris may pose a problem for his campaign, Tester said, no, not at all. I want to talk about Montana. I'm running against a guy from Minnesota that doesn't know Montana, Tester said, referring to his Donald Trump's back-end challenger, Tim Sweeney. I want to talk about health care. I want to talk about public land. I want to talk about distance. I want to talk about everything, and he does not want to do that. Why? Because he doesn't know the issue. He doesn't know any of those issues because he is not from Montana. Ask him whether he believes Harris' policies are too liberal for the people in Montana. Tester said that is for the people of Montana to decide on. Tester remained the most endangered Democrat running for re-election as looked to defend his seat on the stage, the former president carrying twice by significant margins. And although Tester did not attend the Democratic National Convention last month and has not endorsed Harris, Montana Republicans have continued to tie him to an administration that is deeply unpopular in the state. On another news, 2 hours, 50 minutes ago, Obama said even Democratic victory won't solve all the crazy that is out there. I agree with that. I mean, for sure. I mean, assume and imagine that Harris win the presidency bid, and she is the new president of the United States. You think the problem will be finished? No, I don't think so. And you got a photo from the former president Barack Obama speaking in New York on September 19, over there from Kina Betancourt from AFP Getty Image. This is Omar Global Radio News, reading the news from the CNN update campaign. We are heading to this news coming from the desk of CNN by Kevin Liptak. They say headlining, say the news headlining is a $4 million fundraiser in Los Angeles on Friday. Former President Barack Obama described the country as the crossroads of change, with Vice President Kamala Harris representing a new future of economic and social fairness that he linked back to his own 2008 bid. Harris, he said, has performed flawlessly since he became the nominee, including at this month's embarrassingly one-sided debate. Yet, he acknowledged it will take enormous effort to send her to the White House. I wish I could give you a 4 or 5 point plan as to how we are going to win this election. Truthfully, the plan is we are going to push through it, he said, according to excerpt of the event. The event brought the total amount that he raised through event and fundraising content for Democrats to more than $76 million, his office said, coming on the final stretch of the campaign. It's launched what is expected to be a concerted effort by Obama to rally Democrats ahead of Election Day, including through candidate-specific advertising, robocalls, a get-out-vote travel coordinate with Harris' team. A Harris victory, Obama said, won't solve all the crazy that is out there. But each time we win, it solidifies this new future. It is issuing these new possibilities. Eventually, that will become the new normal and the new reality. He said, I hope so. I really hope so. Now, 33 hours and 21 minutes ago, that news is coming up. Angela Osbrooks improperly claimed the tax deduction on DC, Maryland properties records show. That is the picture of Angela Osbrooks speak during the Democratic National Convention on August 20th. Remember that? Angela Osbrooks, the Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate in Maryland, improperly took advantage of tax breaks she did not qualify for, including one made for a low-income senior citizens, saving thousands of dollars in taxes, and two properties she owned in Washington, D.C. and in Maryland. A CNN review of property record of tax bills showed that the both properties Osbrooks claimed for more than a decade as homestead tax exception that is meant to apply only to someone's primary residence, violating state and local tax relief requirements. She also improperly claimed a senior citizen's tax break on her Washington property, cutting the tax bill on half. Osbrooks, 53, never qualified for that tax break, but her grandparents, who owned the property before her, likely did. A senior advisor for Osbrooks told CNN that she was unaware of the problem and that her attorneys are working with both Washington and Prince George's County, Maryland, to resolve the issue. Osbrooks saved nearly $14,000 in taxes between 2005 and 2017 on her Near East Washington property by using tax exemptions made for the district primary residents, lower income residents, and senior citizens, according to property tax bill reviewed by CNN. But she did not live in Washington. According to public records, since 1995, she has been registered to vote in Prince George County, where she has been a long-time government official. She is currently the county executive there, where she oversees the county's budget and is a tax collection division. This is quite interesting. She is, I'd read this again. She is the county, Prince George County executive, and she actually oversees the county's budget and its tax collection division. And she didn't realize that she actually making, let's say, mistake about properties in Washington and this tax deduction thing. See what happened the next few days with this case. She is actually a relevant Democratic politician, and I saw her when the Democratic National Convention happening in Chicago. I think it was last month, a few days ago. Now, back to Vance, J.D. Vance, the vice president nominee for the Republican Party. The title of this news is Vance expresses 100% confidence Trump will win election, dismissing biases polls. Okay, so the poll is biased. Anyways, there's a picture of Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance speaks at a rally on September 21 in Leedsport, Pennsylvania. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance expressed 100% confidence that the Trump-Vance ticket will win the 2024 election, propping up internal polling he believes accurately reflects the leading of Donald Trump's voters versus other polls he deems fundamentally biased. Where we are is we are going to win, and I feel 100% confident about that, Vance told Tucker Carlson in an interview. Look, the internal polls are great. I think that we have to go our rear end of over the next 45 days, Vance says, arguing the American people are fed up with the story of American leadership turning people into pauper in their own county, or their own country over the last 30 years. Vance urged Republicans to get out and vote. He said the difference in this election will be marginal voters who don't always show up to the polls. If they show up, there will be 70-30 for Donald Trump, Vance said. The name of the game is you can't get the press and give it up on your country. You have to get out there and vote because if you do, we are gonna win. Early Saturday at event in Leedsport, Pennsylvania, Vance said he put zero weight on the polls. We should trust any poll, whether they're good or bad for us. And trust me, there are a lot of good polls for Donald Trump's right now. The reason is simple. The polling doesn't matter, Vance said. Now, election officials across the country have struggled to enhance security measures. CNN reviews find this is quite important news, at least for me. It's coming up from Bob Ortega and Anna Maja Rapport, CNN reporter. Maricopa County, the pictures, sheriff, the Maricopa County Sheriff Office, deputies monitor for any security threat for the Emergency Operations Center during Arizona's July 30 primary election. The pictures there, and there is the news about that. When the ballot counting began inside Arizona's Maricopa County Tabulation Center this November, election workers will be protected behind doors and windows with bulletproof glass and 2 layers of facing. Security cameras will be monitored for suspicious activities inside and outside the building. A fleet of police drones and rooftop snipers will be at the ready. In many ways, the county's election headquarters has been transformed into a fortress, say Bill Gates, a member of the county's board of supervisors who has received repeated death threats for rejecting. Sorry. Sorry, I missed the news that I just, okay, over here. Okay, we're talking about, okay. But yeah, this guy, Bill Gates, how come this name is Bill Gates? Member, well, he is a member of the county's board of supervisors who has received repeated death threats for rejecting bogus claims that officials helped steal election in 2020 and 2022. He said that the new safety measures reflect the reality of elections in 2024. Such precautions were unheard of a few years ago, but during the ballot count in 2020, when armed MAGA protesters inflamed by former President Donald Trump's false claims of election cheating, swarming the tabulation center and forced police to look workers and reporters inside for their own safety. County leader decides more needed to be done. That is why Maricopa County has spent over $864,000 in federal funds, more than $3 million in county funds for bolsters its election security process over the past 4 years. But that level of planning and preparation is in stark contrast with that of many other locals across the country with similar worries about election-related turmoil this November. A CNN review has found that amid an exodus of experienced workers and leaders, election officials across the country have struggled to enhance security measures to adequately safeguard workers and ensure voting integrity in advance of election day. Officials rarely shared their worries with CNN, citing death threats, harassment, baseless lawsuits, onerous public records requests, and various security threats spurred by false claims about voter fraud. I mean, this challenge, budget for election security, has been squeezing in several ways. I suppose to keep reading this. I'm going to check it out because it's interesting to me. I actually follow up closely this situation. I don't like it. I don't like it. This is everything happened after Trump for sure. Yeah. I'll continue to read this. Uh, this challenge budget for election security has been squeezed in several ways in recent years. The Congress has slashed funding under the 2002 Help America Vote Act, HAVA, the main dedicated source of federal money to help run and secure elections. Then, too, for a variety of reasons, many states have been slow to spend millions of dollars of the available HAVA money, and legislators in more than half of the U.S. states, many of them buying this inter-election disinformation, have barred or limited the use of private funds that many election officials said helped them run secure elections in 2020. As chairman of the nation's Election Assistance Commission, Ben Holband has unique insight into the woes of election officials as they gear up for this year's presidential contest. Elections are harder than they ever been to run and administer in the US, and they are more expensive than ever, Holband told CNN. Election officials are having to prepare for so many things: the cybersecurity challenge, the physical challenge, dealing with a lot of inaccurate information about election processes and procedures, and educating the public about those things. Offices are inundated with lawsuits and information requests related to that misinformation. It's a big problem, misinformation. The picture there, Ben Howland, chair of the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, speak at the National Association of Secretaries of State's winter meeting on February 16, 2023 in Washington. Howland considered funding available under the Help America Vote Act, HAVA, to help deal with those issues is a drop in the bucket compared with the demands of the state and local election officials. From a height of $425 million in the 2020 fiscal year, nationwide funding for election security under HAVA fell to $55 million in the spending bill for this fiscal year passed by Congress and signed by President Joe Biden in March. Biden called for increased HAVA funding and $1.6 billion in his proposed budget for next fiscal year, but it will be up to the deeply divided Congress to decide whether and how much to provide. Election officials said they need money to hire appropriately trained poll workers, construct physical barriers to protect election workers and buildings, acquire scanners and other equipment to verify signatures on mail-in ballots, install additional security cameras, provide fire retardant for rooms to store ballots, and much more. Many offices have sought new protection for its opening mail-in ballot after election office in California, Georgia, Nevada, Oregon, Texas, and Washington received suspicious envelopes, some laced with fentanyl last November. This past week, another brand of suspicious package were reported to the FBI and the U.S. Postal Service by secretaries of the state of our election office at least 20 states, including the battleground states of Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. At least some of the envelopes had to return an address in Tomoka Park, Maryland, and claimed to be from a group called United States Traitor Elimination Army, according to a photo of one of the envelopes obtained by CNN. The price tag for bringing systems up to date across the whole country is enormous. $53 million over the current decade to replace aging voting machines, update voter registration systems, improve cybersecurity, and administer elections, according to a 2021 study commissioned by the Nonpartisan Center for the Texts and Civil Life and the Center for Election Innovation and Research. But some GOP leaders dismissed the need for more funding. At May 2015 Senate Intelligence Committee hearing, Senator James Langford of Oklahoma rattled off a list of states that had spent little or none of the recent HAVA grant, saying, we have states that have literally millions of dollars sitting there saying, we don't have enough to do, we don't have enough to do this, when most of them do. You know that in recent years, Louisiana has received $14.5 million and has spent zero so far. The Election Assistance Commission, which administered the grant, reported in June that at the end of the fiscal year, the last fiscal year, states were sitting on more than $400 million in HAVA election security grant issues between 2018 and 2023. That includes battleground states such as Nevada, which has spent just 41% of the grant funding, and Michigan, which reported having spent barely half. But whole world is CNN that's come for a state to have a grant for years to help pay for big, expensive projects. For example, he said, Louisiana hasn't spent funds because it's planned to replace its paperless voting system, but the day it signed that contract, they already spent all of it. When Delaware replaced an electronic voting system in 2018, it cost more than $13 million. Federal funds only covered $3 million, is that total, he said. Okay, so just last month, two men, one in Virginia and one in Colorado, were indicted after allegedly threatening to kill election officials and workers in Maricopa County. Thousands of election workers across the country has reported received harassing, offensive, and hostile communications, including since the 2022 midterms, according to the Department of Justice Election Threats Task Force. Many interviewed by CNN reported threats to themselves or the college, while a lot of those threats have focused on officials in battleground states such as Arizona, Georgia, and Michigan. Officials from Oregon to South Carolina told CNN they are receiving death threats too. We are not like Arizona or Georgia with everything they are being probed, but at polling places, the attitude has been contentious and aggressive at times, and we have had people receive death threats, said John Michael Catalano, a spokesman for the South Carolina Election Commission. The hostile climate is having an impact across the country. Chief election officials have left office at a sharply higher rate over the past few years, with a 39% turnover between 2018 and 2022, according to the analysis by the Bipartisan Policy Center. The center said the number of officials leaving county continues at a high rate heading toward the 2024 election. This is no good. Meanwhile, local election officials across the country told CNN they have trouble keeping on hiring experienced workers because of low pay and one amount of lion-dense atmosphere. Now you see a picture of Fulton County election workers stretching arms. Voters cast ballots in Georgia's primary election at a polling location in Atlanta on May 21, 2024. This image is from Getty Image file from Elijah Nobelige. Now, people dropped out left and right based on a national climate, say Isaac Kramer, executive director of the Clarkson County Board of Voter Registration and Election in South Carolina. In Santa Fe, New Mexico, election workers are quit, saying they will do another presidential election because of the level of stress, the inappropriate behavior, say County Clerk Catherine Clark. We are asking people to do very stressful, high-profile work, and we are not seeing the pay that job requires, she said. Many local election officials say that in 2020, they were able to boost worker pay or buy new equipment to make election run more smoothly and safely, thanks to private funds that offer help. But that source's funding has been squeezed too, largely for reasons tied to false claims of election interference. Kramer in Charleston said this country His county elections board uses $695,000 it received in private grants in 2020 to buy a high-speed mail sorter, a machine to open ballot envelopes, and a mobile voting trailer. But also used the fund to run advertisement, explain the vote by mail process, and to hire more poll workers. But Kramer isn't even looking for a privately funded election grant this time around. Now that's barred by the state legislatures, he said. I have a county council saying there are grants out there, but we can't apply for them anymore. Now, what about Zuckerberg's lie? 4 years ago, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan donate about $420 million through two nonprofits to promote safe and reliable voting. More than 2,500 county and state election offices around the country apply for and receive grants. Zuckerberg already has been demonized by Republicans over claims that Facebook was censoring and suppressing the page of conservatives. Before the 2020 presidential election, Trump's ally filed suit in several states to block the use of the election grants, claiming without evidence that they will be steered to Democratic strongholds. After Trump lost, he and many of his GOP supporters falsely claimed that what they dubbed suckerbucks that helped Biden win. The bipartisan Federal Election Commission, in a unanimous vote, rejected the accusation, and courts in several states determined that the accusations were untrue. In fact, more money from those donations went to election office in places where Trump won than where Biden won, according to analysis by the FEC. Another picture of Maricopa County Sheriff's Office deputy monitoring for any security threat from the Emergency Operations Center during Arizona's July 30 primary election. A picture from CNN. But the lines took a life of their own. And since 2020, 28 states, mostly GOP controlled, have adopted law and ballot initiatives to ban the use of private donations for elections. That includes the battleground state of Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. Election officials said the 2020 donation by Zuckerberg and Chan fill a vital need as an unprecedented pandemic led to a surge of voting by mail and other challenges. In Wisconsin, Milwaukee County Clerk George Christensen said his office used $10,000 to improve their website so voters could more easily find their options for voting. We have 72 counties in Wisconsin, and most are red. Say Christensen, most smaller counties benefit from those dollars that the dirty little secret Republicans don't want people to know. But here too, the misinformation has had an effect. On August 26, Zuckerberg wrote to GOP House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio, saying he won't repeat his 2020 election donations. I know that some people believe this work benefit on one party over the other, he wrote. My goal is to be neutral and to play a role one way or another, or to even appear to be playing a role. So I don't plan to making a similar contribution this cycle. Now, even before Biden was confirmed to have won Arizona, but just under 11,000 votes 4 years ago, the state had become ground zero for off-the-wall election nonsense. I'm going to have a pause right now to send some. All right, so I will send to somebody over here. Did I have over here YouTube? Sorry, WhatsApp. Let's see, WhatsApp. I think so. I have indeed. Asking me, no, I don't want it. So, um, right now I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to share my live coverage now over here. Hey Sandy, this thing. I'm going to share my I got it. Live coverage. Copy now over here. I got it. Paste. All right. So I'm going to share to Agustino, to Kike, to Alfredo, to Elvio. He is my brother in Paraguay. Paraguay is the country where I was born, you guys. Maria, she is my cousin from Argentina. Um, uh, she is from Italy. Raúl, I guess. His name is Raúl and Asunción. Gillo. He is Gillo Riveros as well from Asunción. Leo Rubin from Paraguay. He is living in a place called San Bernardino. Juan Pastoriza, I will put it up over there. Juan. What else? I send a message to people in order to catch up this live coverage. Hey, Sunday is the name. You guys are free to enter on Zoom. We can do Zoom, whatever. Jose Leiva, he is from Arizona. I hope he is online in order to check it out as well. Now, Rodolfo Pares Sosa. His name is actually Mario. He is a priest. So priest in Spanish is father, padre. We call him padre, but I call him Mario. Since I don't have that tie with the Catholic religion anymore. I mean, I am Catholic because culturally you are Catholic forever, kind of, But since I don't have that tie with any religious corporation, Juan Manuel is from California. Is a Paraguayan guy living in California, guy. Yeah. So basically, I sending this message to everybody in order to Desmond. He is living in the island over here. He's a Chinese guy living for the last 18 years in Quebec, the province where I'm living right now. So that's it. I guess I feel that I'm going to continue to read the news because it's quite interesting, at least for me. I actually reading something about the unsafe environment, the election places across the country in the United States. So even before Biden was confirmed to have won Arizona for just under 11,000 votes 4 years ago, the state had become ground zero for after-war election nonsense. Claims of ballot change with Sharpies, bamboo ballot for China, supposed shenanigans with the machine telling the vote, As the bogus assertion is spread widely on social media, far-right figures such as the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones stooped to the lead angry protests against the vote count. Then the state GOP chair, Kelly Ward, and 17 others, including Rudy Giuliani and Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, were eventually incited over the role in submitting a false slate of electors to Congress. Most have pleaded not guilty, though one elector recently pleaded guilty for a reduced charge, and former Trump campaign attorney Gina Ellis agreed in August to cooperate with prosecutors in exchange for charges against her became job. Even though many prominent election deniers lost to Democrats in 2022 midterms, state GOP leaders and many key candidates have doubled down on denialism and threats against those who resisted. As recently as Tuesday, Trump threatened to prosecute and imprison election officials if he wins in November, as he cast doubt on the integrity of the oncoming election. Arizona Senate's candidate Kari Lake, who lost in their bid as the GOP candidate for governor by 17,000 votes in 2022, still insists Trump's 2020 loss was a sham. She continues battling in court for overturning her 2022 defeat, even though her attorney has been sanctioned more than $124,000 by federal and state courts for making false, baseless allegations of fraud and claims that electronic ballot tabulations machines are suspect. She is now the party's nominee for Senate. Such denialism continues to create turmoil in the state. Also, here is a Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richard questions election official during the hearing before the county board of supervisors. The pictures and officials were responding to claims about the 2020 election, general elections made by Arizona Senate Republican contractors. In late February, a routine meeting of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors ended in chaos when pro-Trump election deniers rushed the podium, shouting that the mostly Republican board members were illegitimate. Security guard rushed the board members out of side door and called for backup from the county sheriff's office. Just last month, an Arizona Superior Court judge battled down some far-right groups' request for the names of all Maricopa County election workers was being in contact with ballots since 2020. Judge Scott Blaney found out the threat of harassments that those employees face are both alarming and pervasive. Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richard, a Republican who rejects election denialism, reported one such graphic threat against him to the county sheriff's office and the FBI on July 27. Within the days, the FBI arrested a Virginia man who had also posed obscenity-laced threat against Vice President Kamala Harris and other officials. While Arizona's August 6th primary ran smoothly, Sergeant Geoff Wolf, who works in the county sheriff's counterterrorism unit, said the sheriff's office is working hard to ensure the general election in November does too. Times have changed, he said. Our responsibility is to be prepared for all aspects of elections. We want to make sure everyone involved with elections, from people casting their ballot to people going out and working in the election for the election department, feel safe. Wolf said, we are going to continue to plan accordingly and make sure that we have all the resources we need. It is important to be prepared so everyone has that opportunity to vote. This is Omar Global Radio News. So you guys, okay, so I was, in the middle of reading the news, and then the shortcut to a biggest and more profuse information about what I read and primarily. The next is Harris. We're talking about Kamala Harris. Accept CNN debate invitation for October 23, while Trump said it's just too late for another matchup. Here is scary. And you see now the picture of now our next president, Democratic presidential nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris, a campaign rally in Madison, Wisconsin, a couple of days ago, September 20. Vice President Kamala Harris on Saturday accepted an invitation from CNN to debate former President Donald Trump on October 23, challenging her rival to another showdown in the final weeks of the campaign. Harris tweeted Saturday that she will gladly accept a second presidential debate and that she hopes Trump will join her on October 23. Trump on Saturday argued it was too late to have another presidential debate because Americans have begun casting the ballot in the 2024 election. The problem with another debate is that it is just too late. Voting has already started, Trump said at a rally in Wilmington, North Carolina. Trump suggested last week that he might be open to participating in the third presidential debate following his September 10 face-off with Harris, hosted by ABC in Philadelphia. Maybe I got in right mood, he told reporters during a stop in California. After previously posting on Truth Social, there will be no third debate. Trump's campaign spokesperson, Stephen Jones, refers CNN to that Truth Social post when asking on Saturday whether the former president will accept the debate invitation. He said, the October debate will mirror the first 2024 presidential debate in June between Trump and President Joe Biden, taking place at CNN studios in Atlanta, according to the network. Trump and Harris will field moderators' questions for 90 minutes without a live studio audience. And another news, Trump is selling Trump's coin featuring his face for $100. Former President Donald Trump Saturday announced he will sell Trump coins featuring his face for $100. Trump posted an announcement video to Truth Social and said, this beautiful limited edition coin commemorates our movement, our fight for freedom, prosperity, and putting America first. The website said the coin is 1 ounce 999% silver medallion. Features the White House and the back. Trump has sold several products while running for president, including Bibles and sneakers. This is Radio News. Okay, so all the news we are watching and reading today, there is more news coming up, but from far away. And it's most disgusting situation. Let's say that the pictures over here in the Middle East is close to the brink of the catastrophic war. This is terrible. What's going on in the Middle East right now? This is coming from the attack from Israeli warplane stuff, bombs the region's most formidable non-state fighting forces, reeling from the biggest ever hit to its military structure. Israeli soldiers used explosives to break into Al Jazeera office in Ramallah, security guard told. We're talking about the Middle East right now. So you guys, we just read something from, the election stuff, but now we are switching to the world stage or world news. Because I feel it to do it, and I have the energy to do it. So anyways, my coffee is almost finished. Cheers. Cheers, everybody over there. No, after this, I'm going to my routinary bike trip for 12 kilometers, maybe, yeah, about that, 12, 13 kilometers on back, go and back. Beautiful day outside. Today is Sunday, the 22nd of September. So anyways, let's check it out. This news is coming up from the CNN desk. Actually, it's an analysis coming from Tamara Quickly. And it's 4 minutes reading. There is a picture emergency workers used excavators to clear the rubble at the site of Friday's Israeli strike in Beirut's southern suburb. It's pictures from Saturday, 22nd of September, 2024, from Bilal Hussein. An Israeli airstrike reduced a 9-story apartment building in Beirut's southern suburb to a large amount of rubble. A man covered in dust, framed lifelessly in the arms of the rescuer. A corpse of the body bags and whistle past parked ambulances on the back of the quad bike. Suspicion pierces through the catastrophic aftermath of the attack. Plainclothes Hezbollah members snatched the phones of people snapping photos, demanding they were deleted. Get the phone out of here, screams one woman. It was Iran-backed Hezbollah, darkest hour. A meeting that gathers commanders of the group's elite brought down force in the basement of a residential building has been struck down by Israeli warplanes. At least 45 people, including women and children, were killed, along with 16 Hezbollah militants, including the Rahman force leader Ibrahim Akil and senior commander Ahmad Bekre. Just 2 days earlier, hundreds of walkie-talkies belonging to the Lebanese militant group's members detonate in a single minute. A day before that, thousands of exploding Hezbollah pagers menaced hundreds of people. Overall, at least 80 people have been killed in attacks since Tuesday. Most were Hezbollah operatives, but the casualties also include women and children. Now, one of the world's largest non-state fighting forces is reeling from the biggest ever hit to his military structure, as well as the most visible Israel infiltration and its rank and communication infrastructure at its more than 40-year history. The internal breach enabled for successive blows this week and sowing panic within Hezbollah, according to Lebanese security sources. On a Saturday's news conference, Interior Minister Bassam Makhlouei gave an impassioned speech, declaring that the country that was the throws at an Israeli branch and vowing to ramp up the monitoring of foreign hotels and Syrian camps. Israel's firepowers has pursued Hezbollah to steal liar, attacking rank and file and military leadership alike, weakening military and stripping off the clog of secrecy. Hezbollah has arrived at the most delicate phase of this decade-long fight against Israel in hope that a low-level fight on the border on behalf of the Palestinians will prop up Hamas' position in the negotiations. But the ceasefire in Gaza seems more elusive than ever before. Now, its limited confrontation with Israel has exacted a seemingly unlimited price for the militant group. Yet, the compulsion of launch outs has rarely been greater, bringing the region even closer to the brink of a catastrophic war. Its most high-level statement since the Israeli airstrike on Friday, Hezbollah's second-in-command, Naim Qassem, declared a new chapter in the confrontations, which he called a battle without limits. Terrible. Emergency personnel at the picture work at the site of house demanding following a rocket attack from Lebanon, having cross-border hostilities between Hezbollah and Israel and Kiryat Bialik, Israel, September 22nd, 2024. Hezbollah's retaliation in the early hours on Sunday appears to be the most forceful attack since confrontations at the Israel-Lebanon border began last October. The group said it targeted Ramat David Air Base and Southeast Haifa and the Rafah military industry sites north of Haifa. The Israeli military did not respond to questions about whether the site was impacted, but officials confirmed direct hits nearby. This was one of the deepest hits by Hezbollah since the last all-out war between Lebanon and Israel in 2006. The group also say that used new missiles. It's called Fadi-1 and Fadi-2, believed to be a medium-range rocket. If confirmed, this would mark one of the first time Hezbollah has fired weapons outside its short-range arsenal. The group will hope to have it restore some of the deterrence power to force an end to Israel's new chapter in the fight against Hezbollah. What is certain is that there is a new unwritten rules of engagement between Hezbollah and Israel. And until a few months ago, an Israeli strike in Beirut was believed likely to provoke a Hezbollah retaliation in a major Israeli city after Israel killed a Hamas leader in southern Beirut in January. That turned out not to be true. Since then, Israel has attacked Hezbollah's target in the Lebanese capital 5 times. Hours before the Israeli airstrike on Friday, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah called the strikes and the wireless devices unprecedented and severe. The group has lost the battle, he seems to say, but not the war. Hezbollah supporters are trying to put on a brave face. War is a boxing match. One day we win, another day we lose, said Hussein, attending the funeral of 3 Hezbollah fighters claimed on Friday's strike. We are strong in our faith. We are ready to spill blood in Nasrallah. What a terrible situation having in Beirut for civilians, I guess. They are trapped in the middle of the war. So you got it. You got the news. Now, there is a news coming up from what I'm interested to read. Another before I cut it off is 1:40 p.m. Today is September 22nd. Yeah, and it's as I said, 1:40 p.m. 1:45 p.m. Now, this picture, the news coming from CNN and Washington, and we probably read this as the last news of today. Foreign dignitaries descending on this week's United Nations General Assembly are looking to take advantage of a choice opportunity to send out the next leader of the free world, seeking early clues where U.S. foreign policy is heading next. So after a meeting this week may be an audience with one of both the candidates running for the White House, even as President Joe Biden is busy himself with the intensive threat of diplomatic engagement, including meeting at his home in Delaware, the margin of the UN talks and coming foreign trips. Attention on the world stage is also turning to Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Now, each candidate is looking to cultivate their own diplomatic relationships and define the strength of the campaign, sizing in this week UN meetings as an opportunity to talk that illustrate their divergent worldviews. So far, only one leader appears to set to meet both Harris and Trump next week. Ukrainians, Vladimir Zelensky, who is making an urgent appeal to both candidates, along with Biden, for sustained help and combating Russia's invasion. Harris, meanwhile, is set to hold talks in Washington with the United Arab Emirates president on Monday. And Trump has said he plans to talk this week with India's prime minister. On Sunday, Trump wrote on social media that he's met with Qatari Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani and Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani at the former president's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. Qatar has acted as a key intermediary for Hamas and ongoing efforts to reach a hostage and ceasefire agreement in Gaza. The Emir has proven to be a great and powerful leader of this country, advancing at all levels at record speed. Trump wrote, he is someone also who strongly wants peace in the Middle East and all over the world. We had a great relationship during many years in the White House, and it will be even stronger this time around, he said. An official representative for Harris and Trump's A failed request from dozens of countries reaching out and hoping and setting up a meeting, multiple U.S. officials said. Some countries have even offered to accommodate or change their schedule to allow in a meeting. Trump may hold meetings with world leaders that his campaign does not announce in advance, explaining sources close to the campaign. And for both sides, more meetings could be still added, sources said. Harris currently does not plan to travel to New York for the assembly. A source familiar with the plan said it is not clear yet if Trump, who was a memorably laughing at its delegates during one of his UN speeches as president, will be in New York. For Trump, Harris decides who to meet. The phrase that ran up to November's election amount to a question of priority and time. Advisor must wait hours spent preparing for and sitting down with foreign visitors against the imperative of remaining on the campaign trail. Aides both can indicate neither candidate feels under particular pressure for burnish their foreign policy credentials. Trump has already served as commander-in-chief, and Harris has spent the past 4 years as vice president and a crash course of sort of diplomacy, including meeting more than 150 world leaders. Unlike previous elections, neither Trump nor Harris embarked on a pre-election foreign trips in an effort to demonstrate their mastery on the world stage. And while global conflicts are certain to test whoever wins November election and have played a role in this year's debate, world affairs are secondary to domestic concerns, the economy, immigration, and abortions in voters' mind. That leaves the UN meeting itself as something of an afterthought. While President Biden will be there, he will be there as a lame duck. I don't expect either President Trump or Vice President Harris to show. And there is a way in which the UN became almost prematurely like a sideshow, said John Alterman, Senior Vice President and Director of the Middle East Program at the Center of Strategic and International Studies in Washington. It's not the main event because the people who are going to decide the future and of the way the U.S. engages in the world don't think being at the UN, engaging with the UN, will either help them, but it certainly won't help them get elected by the American public, Altman said, which is true. It's true. They don't care. Who cares? For Harris, aides are also attuned to the sensitive optic of agreeing to meet with some leaders or others, in particular, given that what has been an Oslo request, instead of accepting some of the disappointed the rest, it seems easier to do only a couple of highly focused meetings at the White House. She will meet Washington with President Mohammed bin Zayed of the United Arab Emirates on Monday. That's tomorrow, where the escalating crisis in the Middle East is certain to arise. Harris has consistently pointed to the imperative of reaching a ceasefire and hostage deal to lower the temperature in the region, though hasn't said what, if anything, she will do differently from Biden in attempting to secure it. And she will hold talk with Zelensky at the White House on Thursday, and her seventh meeting with the Ukrainian leader. They last meet at the Peace Conference in Switzerland. Both her meetings this week will be separate from those leaders' planned engagements with Biden, and both underscore the reality that if she were to win, she will inherit two major foreign conflicts that Biden has so far been unable to resolve. Trump, meanwhile, has suggested he will easily be able to resolve the two intractable conflicts simply by picking up the phone without detailing exactly what he will say. Since leaving office, Trump has held regular conversations with foreign leaders. He's met multiple times with Hungary's Viktor Orbán, a right-wing nationalist who has led efforts to crack down on journalists and political opponents. This month's presidential debate, Trump heaped prizes on Orbán, calling him a strong man. So far, Trump has said he is planning to meet this week with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, with whom he was shared a close friendship. It's happening to be coming to meet me next week. And Modi, he is fantastic, he said during a rally in Michigan. I mean, fantastic man. Does a lot of this leader are fantastic, he said, adding that countries like India, Brazil, and China are at the top of their game and they use it against us. He also told reporters this week he will probably meet with Zelensky, who has urgently sought meetings with both campaigns to present a victory plan. Trump and Zelensky spoke by phone in July and met in person when the former president was in office on the sideline of the UN's meetings in 2019. That was about 2 months after Trump's phone call with Zelensky encouraged him to look for dirt on Biden, resulting in Trump's first impeachment. What is my telephone telling me? That somebody follow me on Twitter? Thank you. That somebody actually posted for the first time in thread? That's it. That's Listetia accept my follow request on Instagram. Thank you. Also, Windows guys, no, thank you. Trump has been expected to meet Polish Presidents Andrzej Duda in Pennsylvania when both were scheduled to attend the unveiling of a monument, a critical battleground state with a large Polish population. But Trump's visit to the event in Doylestown was scrapped. Modi and Duda are both nationalists who have been accused of presiding over democratic backsliding and erosion of protections for minorities, and both were to extreme to cultivate Trump when he was president. For Modi, that means hosting a massive rally held in the cricket stadium in Jugaad State term Namaste Trump, a response to a Howdy Modi event held in Houston a year earlier. Foreign leaders are among the most ardent consumers of American political news, looking for clues of what the future may hold through polls, private conversations, and diplomatic information gathering. It is unprecedented for presidential candidates to line up meetings with foreign leaders ahead of an election. In 2016, in the last election year, was when leaders gathered in person for UNGA, then candidate Hillary Clinton held talks with then Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and then Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko. Both Clinton and Trump also met Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. 4 years earlier, however, then President Barack Obama mostly avoided his foreign counterparts in New York as he was in the final stretch of a re-election bid. He traveled into the UN for his yearly address, but instead of back-to-back bilateral meetings, he escaped a taping on ABC's debut before returning to the campaign trail. This is Omar Global Radio News. Interesting, huh? What? Another one. I'm going to read that, you guys. Yeah. Now, the title of this news coming up is 4 days and 17 injuries after gunfire erupts in a popular nightlife area in Birmingham, Alabama. This was updated September. Oh, it is today, updating today, September 22nd. This just happening now, or what happened when? There's a pictures and there's a video, plenty of police car around sites. Birmingham office woes to hunt down whoever is responsible for shooting. Now, what is say the news coming up? 4 people were killed and 17 others were injured when multiple shooters opening fire Saturday evening in a bustling entertainment district in Birmingham, Alabama. and what police now believe was a target hit. Just after 11 p.m., multiple people dropped up at the 5 Point South area, exited their vehicles, and began shooting. They returned out to the vehicle and drove away, Birmingham Police Chief Scott Turnmount said on Sunday. Police believe the shooters were carrying out a hit on one individual who is among the deceased, and the other victims were caught on the crossfire. Someone was willing to pay money to have that person killed, Turnmount said. With no suspect in custody, the Birmingham Police Department is partnering with the FBI and other agencies to investigate, urging anyone with information to come forward. It is possible that illegal gun convention devices, sometimes referred to as switches, were used in the shooting. Birmingham Mayor Brando Woodfin said, this device can be used on an override the trigger mechanism on a gun, so it functions as a machine gun. The U.S. Attorney Office in Birmingham announced an initiative cracking down on the devices on July. Convention devices can convert semi-automatic pistols and rifles into fully automatic weapons in less than 60 seconds, according to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. The federal government considered the small devices themselves to be illegal machine guns. Even without a companion firearm, they are illegal to own. Woodfin said gun violence at an epidemic level and in Birmingham. I want to work with the state to solve this problem, he said. When officers arrived at the scene on Saturday night, they found two men and a woman unresponsive with gunshot wound, and all three were later pronounced dead on the scene. Birmingham police officer Tremont Fitzgerald said. A fourth victim, an adult male, was pronounced dead at the University of Alabama Hospital, according to hospital staff. Police previously said that 18 victims were injured. The incident is among 404 mass shootings in the United States so far this year. What? 404 mass shootings in the United States so far this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive. The archive, like CNN, defined a mass shooting as one in which at least 4 people are shot, including the shooter. Birmingham has seen multiple mass shootings this year. A shooting at a nightclub in the city in July left 4 people dead and 10 others injured, according to CNN's affiliate WBRC, and 4 men were shot and killed outside a public library in February, CNN affiliate WFBTM report. 5 Point South is a busy area known as restaurants, nightclubs, pubs, and live music venues near the University of Alabama and Birmingham campus and downtown. Agent Singleton was out of the wait of the night with plans to buy hops in the area when he came across the chaotic scene. He told CNN affiliate WBMAA that he heard grieving-type screaming. That is when I instantly knew someone has lost a loved one, he said. It's interesting how he described it. This is when I instantly knew someone has lost a loved one, he said. But that's I like it. He recalled watching about 5 or 6 victims being taken away on a stretcher. It was very devastating, he said. Singleton said he lives about 5 to 10 minutes away and often goes out in a crowded nightlife area on the weekends. Crime in the area tends to be more frequent around the holidays, he said. The victims were all out and open on the sidewalk or in the street, Fitzgerald said. More gunshot victims were identified in the area, and other victims arrived at a local hospital, Fitzgerald said. The University of Alabama at Birmingham Hospital received 11 of the victims, including one of the people who died, according to hospital spokesperson Hannah Eccles. The condition of the victims are not being released. At least 4 victims have life-threatening injuries, Fitzgerald said. Rest assured, we are going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that we uncover, identify, and hunt down who was ever responsible for preying on our people, he said. Birmingham police has asked that businesses in the area provide any surveillance footage they might have. Fitzgerald said mass shootings have more to do with the culture than they do criminality, according adding that we are seeing far too many arguments being settled by bullet. That is terrible. That's terrible. 404 mass shooting in the United States this year. This is unbelievable. Well, dangerous country is United States. What the fuck? Now, let's go back to the news. I'm checking out the news on CNN, you guys. It's not because I particularly like it, CNN. No, I could go to NPR. I could go to NPR. I could go to ABC News, which is like NBC as well. The New York Times. I got some Spanish free access to New York Times to read in Spanish. They don't care for what those people who for subscriber. They don't care for subscribe. It's open. I mean, if you go to New York Times and try to read for free, forget it. You cannot. But if you go to read for free the New York Times in Spanish, for sure you got it. You guys want to read in Spanish now? No, I don't want to read in Spanish. Nothing. I know my mind is not in Spanish in the Spanish side right now. It's in the English side. So this Trump say what? Well, I don't like to read something about Trump. Not necessarily. I want to read something about Kamala Harris. Let's check it out. Kamala Harris. Yeah. I read something from Kamala Harris' X account. The account is it's Twitter account. So she say, as Attorney General, I want settlements against big oil and help polluters accountable. As Vice President, I help us the largest investments in climate action in history. As President, I will continue to fight to protect our planet for generations to come. What a beautiful! I will like this and I will repost. I will share on X. Let's leave it X as it is. Let's go to the news coming up for Kamala Harris. Now, yes, this is coming 5 hours ago from NBC News, and it's about the new popular Harris bill momentum challenging Trump for the model of change. The latest NBC News national poll showed Harris leading Trump's 49% to 44% within the margin of error, while Trump holds an advantage of the economy, inflation, and the border. Now, there is a guy and the hosts together talking about that poll, and I will not broadcast the sound because basically what I did is turn off the sound in order to not have those issues, because I already have this Zoom stuff, and I guess there's a few seconds, how you say, retard. I speaking like now, and my voice is coming out to the YouTube stuff in about like 4 seconds and stuff. Anyways, no matter what, we're going to read this because I like it. I like to do it. I tell you guys one thing. Sometimes when I read something in English, sometimes I couldn't spend 3 hours. 3 hours. I got only water. I got a water over here, bottle of water, and that's it. I can spend easily 3 hours, man. For me, it's a pleasure to read in another language that is not my original language, which is Spanish. Spanish is my language of origin. Now I see pictures and as well a graphic, a recent head-to-head race after the Biden-Harris switch. Democratic support reached the highest point in NBC News polling since mid-2023, while the share of voters saying they were undecided, and another choice dipped out to the lowest point since that time. September 2024, you got this 50%, 49% Harris side and 44% on the Trump side. There is a margin of error for sure. There's a difference, 7 points. In July 2024, only 43% was on the side of the Democratic. Joe Biden was the nominee at that moment, and Donald Trump was 45% ahead. It was 12 point difference, a lot. So I'm unbelievable how Kamala Harris is going ahead. So a double-digit increase in popularity, rise in Democratic enthusiasm, and early age for representing change have voted Vice President Kamala Harris forward and reshuffle the 2024 presidential contest, according to a new national NBC News poll. With just over 6 weeks until Election Day, the poll found Harris with 5-point lead over former President Donald Trump among registered voters, 49% to 44%. While that result is within the margin of error, it is a clear shift from July's poll when Trump was ahead by 2 points before President Joe Biden's exit. But the transformation and the presidential contest goes well beyond the horse race. For starters, Harris's favorability has jumped 16 points since July, the largest increase for any politicians, and NBC News polling since the then President George W. Bush's stunning surge after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Harris also holds the advantage over Trump and being seen as competent and effective, as well as having the mental and physical health to be president. A reversal for Trump's leads on those qualities when he was matching up against Biden. And in the contest between sitting vice presidents and ex-presidents, featuring an electorate that overwhelmingly think the U.S. is on the wrong track, Harris has the upper hands and which candidate better represents change, and which candidates can get the country headed on the right direction. In July, there was a stiff breeze heading directly at President Biden and obscuring a clear path to victory. Today, the winds have turned in Kamala Harris's favor, say Jeff Orwit of Hard Research Associates, the Democratic pollster who conducted this survey with Republican pollster Bill McAllister of Public Opinion Strategies. Still, Trump's whole important advantage on the economy and inflation, although those leads are smaller than they were with Biden and was still in the contest. 2/3 of voters say their family income is falling behind the cost of living, and voters rank the cost of living as their top concern in the election. What is more, the poll shows that some Trump's erosion has come from Republicans who are die-hard supporters of the former president, but who could come back home to him like they did in 2016 and 2020. We haven't seen this movie before, say McDuffie. They can get squishy on Trump, and then at the end, and they coming back and they vote the way they are going to vote on a Republican versus Democrat preference for Congress. Overall, the 2024 presidential race looks a lot like it did 4 years ago. Both pollsters agree with the Democratic nominee more popular than the Republican candidate. The electorate is still deeply polarized and the final results unclear. All of these movements to Harris essentially returned the race where it was in 2020 at the end of the campaign, a very close election, Harvard said. Now you see a graphic. Inflation remained voters' most important issues. September 2024 election, inflation and cost of living 28% is the top of the top. The people are actually concerned about it. This is my priority. This is what I try to, the voters say, this is my main concern, inflation and the cost of living. So that is 28%. And April, that was 23%. So now it's increased that amount of percentage, according to this poll. Now, threat to democracy, 90% people are interested in that. The second place, before and April 2024 was only 16%. Immigration and the situation at the border. And April 2024 was 22%. People are interested in that, And now in September 2024 is only 14%. So now the immigration and situation at the border is less important for many people. Jobs and economy, of course, is more important now, 30% than before. In April was 11%. Abortion, then and now, exactly the same, 6%. People are 6% interested in abortion, 6% now, and 6% on April 2024. What about healthcare? Healthcare as well was important, 5% then, and now is increasing on, now is 5%, then was 6%. Climate change, 5% then, April, and now as well, so 5%. Social Security and Medicare, 4% then, and now it doesn't move. Crime is only 2%. People are like, this is quite interesting. The crime, the top of the concern is only 2% then, and it's 2% now. So this poll was conducted September 13 to 17 and surveying 1,000 registered voters nationally. The margin of error is plus and minus 3.1 percentage points. The brand new NBC News poll conducted September 13 to 17 comes after a momentous 2 month in American politics, including Biden's withdrawal from the 2024 race on July 21, 2 party conventions, 2 vice presidential selections, an assassination attempt on Trump in July, and another one, an apparent attempt 2 months later. And the first, and perhaps only, the debate between Trump and Harris. And the first NBC News poll since those events, Harris gets support from 49% of registered voters in the head-to-head test against Trump, who gets 44%. Another 7% either pick another candidate, say they are unsure, or say they won't vote. And an expanded ballot with the third-party candidates, Harris leads Trump by 6 points, 47% to 41%, with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. at 2%, Jill Stein at 2%, a Libertarian Chase Oliver at 1%. Respondents were only able to pick from the major third-party candidates who will actually appear on the ballots of their states. Both ways of testing the race represent a change from July's poll, when Trump was narrowly ahead of Biden by 2 points in a head-to-head ballot test, and by 3 points on the expanded ballot test. September results are the Democratic ticket's best performance in the poll since the summer of 2023. In the current head-to-head matchup, Harris holds the advantage among Black voters, 85% to 7%. Voters against 18 to 34, 57% to 34%. Women, 58% for Harris, 37% for Trump. White voters with college degree, 59% for Harris, 38% Trump. And independent, 43% of Harris and 35% for Trump. I don't know if this is correct what I read. Anyways, all of these advantages are larger for Harris than Biden had enjoyed when he was still in the race, except among independents, where Harris's 80-point edge is almost identical to Biden's advantage on July. Trump, meanwhile, is ahead among men, 52% and 40%. White voters, 52% and 43%. And white voters without college degrees, 61% supporting Trump to 33% supporting Kamala Harris. We talk about white voters without college degrees. You understand what I mean? White voters without college degrees. You got it. You understand, eh? You understand the assignment. 71% of all voters say their mind aren't made up, while 11% say they might change their vote, except from April, when 26% they could still change their mind. Harris lead on abortion, fitness, and change. Trump is ahead of their key issues on the border and inflation. The NBC News poll also tests Harris and Trump on 13 different issues and presidential quantities. Harris's best results are on protecting immigrant rights, where he has a 28% lead over Trump. Abortion, plus 21%. Having the necessary mental and physical health to be president, plus 20 points. Having the right temperament to be president, plus 16 points. And representing change, plus 19 points. By comparison, Trump's biggest leads are on securing the border, plus 21, the economy, plus 9, and dealing with the cost of living, plus 8. You got another graphic over here for each one. Please tell me whether you think that Donald Trump or Kamala Harris will be better. Oh, this is a question. Trump retained an advantage, thought smaller that they were against Biden on several key issues, while Harris took the lead on the number of personal characteristics. So you got the graphic over here. You got security, border, and controlling immigration. Trump go further, 54% to Kamala's 33%. Dealing with the economy, again, Trump got to 50% to 41% of Harris. Dealing with inflation and the cost of living, Trump has a 48% advantage to 40% Harris. Dealing with crime and violence, Trump leaning for 47% versus 41% of Harris. Serving, look, this is quite interesting. This is a starry situation. It's like an X, it's like serving as commander-in-chief. Kamala Harris is ahead of Trump, 47%. And Trump is only 46%. And one point margin, but it's still, it's quite interesting. Getting the country ahead of the right direction, 47% for Kamala Harris, 43% for Donald Trump. Being competent and effective, 48% Harris, 43% Trump. Representing change, 47% for Kamala Harris, 38% for Trump. Being honest and trustworthy. Look, being honest and trustworthy. 49% for Kamala Harris, 34% for Trump. Big advantage. Having the right temperament to be president. Kamala Harris goes to 52%, and Trump only has 36%. Having the necessary mental and physical health to be president, 54%, 54% is for Harris, 33%, 34% is for Trump. Dealing with the issue of abortion, 54% Kamala Harris, 33% Donald Trump. And look at that, and the last one, treating immigrants humanely and protecting immigrant rights. Kamala Harris goes to 57% advantage to 29% of Harris. Way, way, way different. Different brand, different people. Obviously, it is completely different. Those people who doesn't know who will vote for, they check it out. I mean, what the fuck? You're still waiting for what? More information? The poll was conducted September 13 and 17 and surveying 1,000 registered voters nationally The margin of error is plus or minus 3.1 percentage points. Those current Trump advantage, however, are all down from when Biden was still in the race. When NBC News put those questions to voters about Trump and Biden in January, Trump led the president by 35% on the issue of securing the border and controlling immigration, and by 22 points on dealing with the economy. In April, voters gave Trump a 22-point edge over Biden and dealing with inflation and the cost of living, too. Beyond these issues and qualities, what also stand out at the poll is Harris' increasing popularity since her elevation to the top of the Democratic ticket. In July, 32% of registered voters had a positive view of Harris versus 50% who saw her under negative light, minus 18 net rating, almost identical to Biden's rating. But in this new poll, Harris is now at 48% positive to 45% negative, plus 3. No major party presidential candidate and the 35 years history of the NBC News poll has seen this kind of jump in popularity in an election. I'm going to read that again. And listen carefully. Listen. No major party presidential candidate in the 35-year history of the NBC News poll has seen this kind of jump in popularity in an election. I mean, never, ever in 35-year history of NBC News poll has seen this kind of jump in popularity in a single election since now. So Kamala Harris is a phenomenon. Is absolutely a phenomenon. So you see now the race graphic, again, voters feeling toward Kamala Harris, swinging dramatically after Biden dropped out of the 2024 presidential election. You can see that the negative goes like, and yeah, for sure. And the positive going down, 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 down. And suddenly you see after the change, after Biden say, okay, you got it, you go ahead. There's a jump way up, 50%. It's like amazing. And so the news says the only increases that are greater than Harris in successive NBC News polls are George W. Bush leap after 9/11. Remember that? When his positive number increased nearly 30 points. Then President George H.W. Bush's jump in popularity after First World War, when his positive number increased by 24 points. And independent Ross Perot, you remember Ross Perot, who got a 23-point jump when he would re-enter the 1992 presidential race after previously dropping out. By contrast, Trump's net rating in the new poll is essentially unchanging from July, minus 40% positive, 53% negative, minus 13. You can see the graphic. I don't want to read that anyways. Voter feeling toward Donald Trump as being more stable. Boring candidates. Donald Trump is a boring candidate. And Donald Trump he doesn't listen to these so-called advisors. You have to remember who is this guy. He doesn't listen. He doesn't care. And people actually, that's embarrassing. Now, check it out. This coming out, say, warning sign for Harris. Attention. Despite that improvement for Harris, the poll contained warning signs for Democrats. For one thing, inflation and the cost of living remain voters' top issue. And 66% of voters say their family's income is falling behind the cost of living. This is a warning sign for Kamala Harris. And I'm going to read again. Yeah, for one thing, inflation and the cost of living remain voters' top issue. And 66% of voters say their family's income is failing behind the cost of living. So they are short money. Watch out. watch out. I guess I read somewhere that the gas prices coming down as well. It's difficult. It's a difficult approach. It's a difficult approach because for one instance, you say, "Ah, yeah, I like the change. I like freedom. I like Kamala Harris." But so what? I still have issues with my economy, with my financial. You know what happened with that? I got my personal views of that. I'm going to say that right now. To be honest, to be fair, and to have some sort of like break at this news, I'm going to say something. You know what? When you have a problem with money, it's because you are spending more money than you receive. I mean, your capacity of spending is way more than you receive. You got debt everywhere. You got debt everywhere. You buy a new car, new home. You do some investment and you accumulate the debt. You use your credit card. Then every month or every week you pay your bills. You pay your bills and never end this sick cycle of paying the bill. Now, if you ask me, what about you? Well, I, for whatever circumstance, I don't want to say why, but I don't have any credit card. I have debit card. So I spend exactly what I have in my bank account. I don't have, I cannot spend any more than that because it's not possible. The system doesn't allow me to spend more money than I have in my bank account. I don't say that, the ideal world is to have, a debit card instead of a credit card. But in this world where everything is, how you say, is unpredictable, it's unpredictable. Anything, we're living in a situation where everything could happen. We don't know. We don't have the predictability of before, like 20 years back to 20 years ago. So of course you will have a problem. And sometimes you appear yourself like somebody who has a house, a nice car, a nice lifestyle, whatever, which is not true. It's not true because you have a collection of debts, a bills to pay. You have to pay everywhere, and then you are short of money. And then you say, "Oh, the government, oh, the prices, oh, the inflation. Oh, I consider 66%. Family's income is falling behind the cost of living." Yeah, because you spend more money than you receive. And that is the truth, the naked truth. Let's keep reading. So I repeat that that's the warning sign for Harris. Is again, the situation is not easy. Even though you see in the polls, she had to get the advantage. She's jumping. She's amazing and more than 30 years or whatever. But then suddenly you got this problem, this big problem, because it's at the top of the concern of the voters. Yeah, you see, despite the improvement, I read again, the poll contained warning signs for Democrats. For one thing, inflation and the cost of living remain voters' top issue. And 66% of voters say their family incomes are falling behind the cost of living. In addition, while Harris leads Trump's on change, a separate question shows a potential vulnerability of being tied to Biden's presidency. And that is 40% of voters say they are more concerned that Harris will continue the same approach as Biden. And this is the dangerous stuff. Look at that. I'm going to read again. In addition, while Harris leads Trump on change, yes, people want change. People doesn't want to vote for whatever. A separate question shows a potential vulnerability being tied to Biden's presidency. Joe Biden. You know what I mean? 40% of the voters say they were more concerned. They are more concerned than Harris will continue the same approach as Biden. People think Kamala Harris will do the same, and people will not have enough money and stuff. I can say you again, you spend more money than what you receive. I don't say that is all the cases, but general, how can you spend more money than you receive every month? You live like as a millionaire, but you are not, because you are inundated with debts everywhere. You have to pay your bills, and you have no money. You are short money every month or every week. All right, so let's keep going. That compared with 39% who are more concerned that Trump will continue the same approach as his first term as president. 18% say neither is a concern. Meanwhile, 65% of voters say the country is in the wrong track, compared to just 28% who sense heading in the right direction. Though the wrong track percentage is smaller than it's been during most of the Biden-Harris administration, the sober outlook closely mirrored how voters saw things when they decided to change the party in the White House in 2020, in 2016 and 2020. And while the share of Democrats expressing high interest in the election, registering either at 9 or 10 or a 10-point scale, increases since July. Young voters remain at the low level of interest compared to recent presidential elections. All right, other polls finding, other polls. You got a lot of polls, but we're talking about others. The recent debate between Harris and Trump, 29% said about September 10th shutdown made them more likely to support Harris, versus 12% who said it made them more likely to back Trump. 50% said it made no difference. In the battle of control of Congress, 48% of registered voters prefer a Democratic-controlled Congress, compared with 46% who want Republicans in charge. That is essentially unchanged from July, when it was 40% Democratic and 46% Republican. And on Project 2025, the conservative policy blueprint with ties to former Trump's administration officials, which Democrats had features in their campaign, hoping 57% of voters have a negative view of it, versus just 4% who see it in a positive light. Those 4% doesn't know, they don't read that. I don't read that Project 2025. I know it's negative. I know it's awful, but I never read that. I don't want to read. So the national NBC News poll was conducted September 13 to 17 of 1,000 registered voters, 870 of whom were reached via cell phone, and it has an overall margin of error of plus or minus 3.1 percentage point. This is Omar Global Radio News. All right, just going to another news coming up. Who is, I don't know, and what? That's coming from where? Register, you got it. Americans in Canada, NBC News. What about NPR? NPR News. I know NPR is free, yeah? To be honest with you, I read a website that is free access. You know, it's a matter of, I could actually, you know what, I pay a lot of application lately. I pay for in video, I pay for Canva, I pay for Zoom, I pay for my website, I pay for yeah, basically those things, application. I could pay for a newspaper like New York Times and stuff, but why? I could do it. You know what? I like The Guardian. because the Guardian asked money. I mean, they decide to publish it all for free access. But at the same time, they ask for help. They say, okay, you know what? You enjoy our news, read our news, so consider donate. Yeah. So there you are. Uh, well, I got this over here, politics, because this is my issue, what I like. So we are myself. I'm living in Quebec in Canada, but at the other side, at the border, and the south of the border, there is a big election is coming up. So I follow that closely. So right now I open up the NPR News website, and I got direct straight to the politics. And one of the news is when one key swing state, both parties are courting black men. And there's a picture of Philip Barker and hydroponic grow house and Olasunia Farm LLC, which he owns with his wife in Oxford, North Carolina. So we're going to read this. Yeah, you see. We're going to read this opinion actually. Yeah, and it's coming from the Weekend Edition Sunday. You can actually listen on the radio because NPR actually is a radio station, National Public Radio. I love it. NPR, National Public Radio, NPR. And you can listen on the platform as well. And Radio Garden, you know the platform Radio Garden? You can list thousands of radio stations around the globe. And you can, navigate to the internet and see the, globe and stuff. And you can listen over there. But, I am here to read this, not to listen. First of all, because I don't put it on the volume. The volume is off because it bothered me for an echo, whatever it is. So I'm going to read this for you guys and for myself, especially for myself. In his 76 years, Philip Barker has seen many change in his home state in North Carolina. Desegregation, fewer farmers, and a less predictable climate. But one thing has not changed for him. He's committed to voting. As a young man, his mother told him, "You're gonna vote." She didn't tell us who to vote for, but she made sure we understood that we had one vote and exercised that. I don't miss that vote. Barker said, standing alongside with the crops of his organic vegetable farm in Oxford, North Carolina. Barker and other black men in North Carolina, one of the 7 swing states, could play a critical role in this year's presidential election. Polls show both candidates in an extremely tight race, and both parties are making specific appeals for voters to voters like Barker. Democrats are touting policies that benefit black men and reminding them of former President Trump's comments about race and about the 2017 United Rights rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Republicans are sending black GOP lawmakers to talk with black men. They have also tried relating Trump's felony convictions to black men, something Philip Barker rejects. Who want felonies? Black people don't want them. As a black farmer, Baker says he is not a stranger to discrimination. He faced years ago when applying for government law programs. When you walk into an office and you realize you are discriminated against when you get to the door, you might really enjoy what you are going to and there for. But in this state of misery by the time you come out, Barker said. It took years of lawsuits, but Congress approved more than $2 billion for compensate farmers who were discriminated against by the USDA Farm Law Program. Compensation is welcome, said Barker, but he keeps thinking about the farmer who died before they could get it. For this year's election, Barker points to former President Donald Trump's record of office. with big corporations getting huge tax cuts and government subsidy for big farmers, not a small independent one like himself. I don't know what farmers should vote for him. He didn't care. He did not take care of any farmers, Barker said. Barker has voted mostly for Democrats, but he said he voted for the candidate, not the party. He is not voting for Mark Robinson, the Trump endorsed GOP candidate for governor, who is black and has a history of provocative comments about the Holocaust, women, even school shooting victims. He is not morally sound, said Barker. Barker is supporting Vice President Harris, a potentially historic vote for the country's first black woman president. She brings the experience. I think she has the morals and the heart, Barker said. In 2020, according to exit polls, black men made up about 9% of North Carolina's turnout, nearly half a million vote. More than 90% of them vote for Joe Biden. But this year, polls show Democrats slipping with most Barker's generation, but with younger black men. The economy is a big reason. You got another photo over here from Ian Burris in front of one of these Raleigh-based restaurants, the Dunkery. Yes. You used to be able to get a box of chicken wings for $60, maybe 50. Ian Burris, owner of the Raleigh-based restaurant, the Dunkery, say. Now we are sitting at $130. Burris, 28, has been building his business for 9 years, from his parents' garage to 2 restaurants in the city. He says it's a rising cost that make him uneasy. But as a black man, those concerns pale in comparison to his experiences during Trump's administration. There was a lot of racial tension. It was too uncomfortable to make me to care about if I'm paying a little bit more in taxes. Burris said, I feel like someone could get away with doing something for me, and that will be Kamala Harris. For Burris, the choice this year is less about policy and more about personality. With Trump, it's hard to take him as a serious politician, Burris said. I just think that role should be a serious individual. And I think Harris has the career that's a serious politician. That lack of seriousness could cost the GOP the election if enough young people, young black voters, feel like Harris, like Burris. There are just a lot of cities that are Republican run or Republican states that I admire how things are going. Burris said, some of them are cleaner. Businesses are doing well. The cost of living is a bit cheaper. I do like the idea that you can live in a nice city that has restaurants and things to do and have a decent space. You are not breaking your arm or leg for that. That could be cool to see as an entire country. Still, Harris has not sealed the deal with Burris. He said he is still looking closely at her policy positions and whether he will vote for the vice president. What? He's still waiting to whether he still vote for the vice president. That is unbelievable. You should make your mind, my friend. I mean, we are like 45 days to the race to the November 5 election. You should actually know who you are voting for by this time. It's a huge different stuff. Despite all those concerns, all those concern. Vote for Kamala Harris. Everybody could vote and register to vote. So, yeah, so basically, we are starting. I check it out now that we are broadcasting this live event for like 2 hours. That's good. Yeah, 2 hours really non-stop. It sounds like crazy, and I still have like 10 minutes because you know what? I had to go out to ride my bike. my track to like 12, 13 kilometers. I had to do that because I want to do it. Because I want to do it. So no politics. The West Wing cast visited the White House to celebrate the show's 25th anniversary. The cast and creator of hits political drama West Wing celebrated the series' 25th anniversary during the visit to the White House. Now, how influencers flocked to Springfield chasing the wicked rumor. Okay, I wanna read this because actually I published it on my YouTube channel that some part of the frenzy, eat the cats, eat the dogs, Trumps, whatever it is. I'm going to look for more interesting stuff. Much alert, double your impact. Thanks for generous donor. Every dollar you contribute will match doubling the impact of your support. Join us of keeping quality journalism and trusted stories alive. This is NPR. Yeah. Now they're asking for money. Before they didn't ask for money that way. Now they ask for money directly, but still asking for. They don't block the situation. So now we're going to read this on tackling disinformation. On tackling the disinformation. This is necessary, and I want to read this sign up by Hugh Gintian, Andrew Junton, and Jude Jove Block here on morning edition of NPR, September 20, a couple of days ago at 9:42 a.m. Eastern Time. How influencers flock to Springfield, Ohio, chasing the Buchanan rumors and attention. Pay attention. You see the picture over there? A mural in LA and downtown Springfield, Ohio. The city is home of the largest, a large Haitian community, and was thrust into the spotlight after former President Donald Trump falsely claimed that members of the immigrant community of eating the pets of local residents. Online influencers have continued to keep their attention on the city. I see some of the live videos, somewhere walking around, and I just imagine myself, what about imagine yourself living in Springfield, Ohio, and you are targeted with several situations, including the YouTubers or their influencers. Now, Springfield, Ohio is content of this news is coming up. In a viral video that first appeared on September 10th, YouTube content creator Tyler Oliveira interviewed a Springfield, Ohio resident who claimed he saw Haitian immigrant carrying away over 100 cats in a white van. Okay, I watched them get pulled over with the cats and admit to the police that they was eating them, the unnamed man said. Springfield police say they had no records to substantiate that claim, which Oliveira does not mention. The video has garnered more than 4.5 million views on YouTube. Plain disinformation. Social media influencers and content creators with right-leaning followings have descended on Springfield since Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance and former President Donald Trump amplify baseless claims that Haitian immigrants they are eating pets. As they pursue clicks, their sensationalized videos and posts are helping to spread the false and racist rumors. After media and city officials debunking the pet-eating claims, conservative activist Christopher Rufo offered a $5,000 bounty for evidence that Haitian immigrants were eating cats in Springfield. His post on X announced his bounty got 4.5 million views. What Rufo came up with a few days later was a single grainy video from 2023 that claimed to show a cat on a grill that was filmed in Dayton, about 30 miles away. Officials in Dayton say the allegations were irresponsible and that they had found no evidence to support the claims. At the same time, the film's lead threat sustained the rumors on social media have unrelated a widely shared Facebook post that claimed Haitian immigrant in Springfield were seen carving out a cat turned out to be a forehand gossip, according to reporting by NewsGuard. The person who made the post deleted and apologized, according to NBC News. A viral photo of a man holding two geese that accompanied many posts making claims about Haitian immigrants in Springfield was actually taken in Columbus, about 50 miles away. The Ohio Division of Wildlife confirmed that the man has picked up a roadkill. Anthony Harris, a local influencer who said a widely shared video of a city commission meeting on that a Haitian immigrant were killing and eating ducks at a local park, has admitted he has never seen it happen. To shore up the false claim, fans a team share with the Wall Street Journal a police report for a woman who suspects her Haitian neighbors has taken her cat. Anna Filgore told the newspaper that her cat, Miss Sassy, has reappeared. Kilgore says she has apologized to her neighbors. But some influencers have continued to suggest city officials and the media are hiding something. Their focus has expanded to other grievances, long-standing residences, and have with the arrival of Haitian immigrants in Springfield in recent years, as well as unprovoked allegations of wrongdoing by immigrants. A video posted by self-described investigative reporter concert journalist Jonathan Lee Riches on Thursday shows him trailing a white passenger van through the city because it was full of people and it has no license plate. It shows you there are things going on here in Springfield, Ohio, Regis said. He did not respond to an email from NPR asking about the video. Tyler Oliveira's video pivots away from pet claims to other tension points in the community, such as the allegation that Haitian immigrants are bad drivers. Last year, a Haitian immigrant who did not have a valid driver's license struck a school bus, injured many students, and killing an 11-year-old boy. The city doesn't collect data on the nationality of those who are involved in crashes. Oliveira's video showed a short clip and a man driving, wedged between photos and videos of a car wreck. Now you see Biles Dorsville, the executive director of the Haitian Community Help and Support Center. Is a picture of him on the CNPR website. The man in the video is a local Haitian community leader named Biles Dorsville. He was portraying people driving recklessly. Dorsville said during an interview at the Haitian Community Help and Support Center, where he is the executive director. And he portrayed me as the person driving. Dorsville said the video clip of him driving was already online before Oliveira's video was published, and that he has not been in any of the car accidents Oliveira's showed. The cover image of Oliveira's video shows another local Haitian man appearing to hold a cat, but that image appeared to be an edited frame from the video in which the man never held the cat. That man could not be reached for comment. Dorsville said he has spoke to the man and say he has distrust after seeing himself falsely portrayed. He was so afraid, Dorsville said. He was crying because he believed that could cause him some harm, not being able to work. NPR reached out to Oliveira for an interview, but he did not respond. Right-wing influencers have a lot to gain by stirring up moral panic. Getting a lot of views can translate into direct financial benefit and also help them expand their following for the long term. Said Rennie DiResta, the author of the recently published book, Invisible Rulers, The People Who Turn Lies into Reality, about the role of influencers play today. Media fuel a scary campaign, vilifying anti-fascist activists, critical race theory, LGBTQ education, DEI programs, and immigrants, having catapulted countless conservative influencers' careers, wrote Jared Holt, a senior research analyst at the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, who focus on extremism and on opinion piece on NBC. Many political influencers monetize their content via ad, subscriptions, or crowdfunding, which means they have an incentive to create videos and posts that will lead to a lot of views or clicks. And they are typically not penalized when they ignore traditional journalistic practice such as fact checking. Oliveros posted a comment in his Springfield video on YouTube that said the video is entirely demonetized and include a link to his Patreon account. Now you can see another picture of a Springfield police officer stand watched during a service in support of the Haitian community at St. Raphael Catholic Church in Springfield, Ohio, Sunday, September 15, 2024. An interesting picture. A white police officer stand up in front of all church goers who they are black. They are Haitian. And there is, yeah, a picture, kind of interesting. With social media curation being what it is, this means that they are often incentivized to be sensational, say Resta. They are often just asking questions, amplifying rumors themselves. Haitians have long been a target of political attacks in the U.S., say Marcia Charles Lane, a professor of African American studies at the University of Pennsylvania. For me, as a Haitian American in the United States who has followed presidential elections since I was a kid, nothing surprised me in terms of the strategy of maligning immigrants in order to make a larger political case. Chet Lane, say NPR. Historically, Haiti has always lingered in the mind of politicians because of the Haitian Revolution in 1804, because of the uprising of enslaved people in the islands. Haiti has always shaped the political imagination as well as the political anxiety of the country, she said. When AIDS emerged in the United States in the 1980s, an early name the press coined for it following CDC's analysis of risk factor was the 4-H disease, homosexual, heroin user, hemophilics, and Haitians. The CDC later retracted the claim. Trump repeatedly said Haitian had AIDS while he was president. He also suspended the temporary protective status, the legal status many Haitians in the Springfield hold. Bans posed on X that communicable diseases in Springfield are on the rise. The Wall Street Journal reported that the health departments in Clark County, which including Springfield, has reported a decrease in infectious diseases cases and sexually transmitted infection cases countywide. While there has been an increase in TB, tuberculosis, and HIV cases, the number has remained low. Targeting immigrants for the real or imaginary diets also has its own long history related to racial discrimination in the U.S. These three differences are even ones used by the labor union to justify the 19th century Chinese Exclusion Act. Springfield has been shaken by the attention. Bomb threats all over the city has resulted in evacuations from government buildings and the school closures. Neo-Nazis and far-right groups have marched in town. Trump recently vowed to deport Springfield's Haitian population en masse, even though the vast majority of the Haitian immigrants there are legally authorized to be in the United States. The threats don't need to be severe to be disconcerting. On Sunday afternoon, during English Creole language exchange classes at the Haitian Community Help and Support Center, NPR watching a man walk up to the door. He asked if there was an Haitian guy around. Eddie Airline Wine was co-organizing the class and managing security, spoke to him briefly and asked him to leave after he asked for a restaurant recommendation. Whoa, 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 the man said before getting in a car and driving off. He said, my friend said there were no geese over in the park, so I had to come over here to get geese. Earl woman said. She said she had already called the police multiple times that day due to security concerns. And over here, you got another picture. People eat at the Rose Creole restaurant in Springfield. The restaurant owner said she was recently been getting phone calls asking if the restaurant serves cats and dogs, which does it not. That's terrible. Direct struggle by racist people is terrible. I don't like it. All this has left Springfield's Haitian population fearful, with some community members telling NPR that people they know are considering moving away. That people they know are considering moving away. Some people. A Rose Curl restaurant at the south side of town, where the scent of spices, vegetables, and herbs filled the room. Junior Bill said he moved to Springfield over a year ago to escape gun violence in Haiti. While he still feels safe, he said family members who also resettled in Springfield no longer do. My mom, she wants to leave, Eliu said. My sister as well, because they are afraid. The restaurant owners, Rosanna John Lewis, said business has boomed. Newcomers from nearby city have flocking in to show of support. But Lewis also said she get calls asking if the restaurant served cats and dogs. She says she responds by telling people that pets are in the menu and then tells them what the restaurant does serve. A few doors down from the restaurant, Tagi Hep, the manager of a public library branch, says she has been hurrying to and from lunch site the presidential debate to avoid having unpleasant encounters with people. She said she has been hurried to and from lunch since the presidential debate to avoid having unpleasant encounters with people. The media coverage across the board has just added, I think, though everyone's anxiety, upset. I've seen a lot of just random those independent journalists who are just walking around with their phone interviewing people. She's been monitoring YouTube and laments how improved rumors are going unchallenged in the influencers' videos. Heads of Library French often hosts the public library system's only Creole interpreter, and she's worried about the branch became a target. Another picture over here, Jacob Pine, an owner of Milcan Botanica, stands in a his shop is flanked in bright candles and spiritual colonies and perfumes. I have spent some time crying about it because I can't protect my stuff. I just have one person at the store, NPR. In the same strip mall, Haitian American business owner Jacob Payne sells incense and prayer candles and his religious goods store. My business has not been the way it was because most of my clients, they are afraid, most of my customers, Payne said, they are afraid to leave their houses. He is also a spokesperson for the Haitian Community Alliance. He hasn't been interviewed by the influencers yet, but he is welcome to chance to speak with one. Maybe I can convince them to change their mind at the end of our conversation, he said. He is aware that some of the influencer video portray Haitian as a burden to the city. I strongly believe that those people, they are not evil. They are just lost. Samantha Schumer and Chris Walters of member station WYSO contributed reporting to this story. This is NPR News. And with this, I am reaching the final time for myself. Started to do 2 hours ago this broadcast. I appreciate that you actually check it out that later on. I was dealing with my Zoom devices or whatever previously that I was comfortable enough to read the news non-stop. And this is going to do anytime when I feel like it, because I like it. All right, take care of yourself. Enjoy your Sunday. I'm going out now for my bike, my trike, right. Yeah, I'm going to do some exercise outside. Enjoy the sunny. See you guys later. Goodbye.